video. I never remember to do that. But anyway, hello and welcome to another Gothtober event. This time we are quizzing. I have the lovely Tish, Olivia and Jem joining me. We were talking a little bit beforehand about nerves. But I'm trying to reassure my guests as much as possible that this will be a doable quiz. Olivia, you've done them before. Thoughts?
I've done it before, and I think I've heard that line every single year.
Yeah, that's fair. I try and give you like a mix. So we've got 5 rounds today, and we've got different things. So we've got some that are just straight up general knowledge. We've got ones where I've taken a single word out of the title. You've just got to guess what that word is. One where it's the cast from a popular sci-fi film. You've got to guess what the film is. One where I've taken the title off of a book and the author. So you get 2 points per that one. And then the last round is our chosen ones. Because I was like, how am I going to get prophecies specifically into this very sci-fi heavy quiz? So we've got a mix. The only thing I haven't got this time, and I usually try, is a music round. And that's only because last year my internet was terrible. So trying to play music at you through speakers was just not the one. So I thought I'd rein it in this time. So there should be a nice mix. Emma's been ready since day dot, and by that I mean in bed. Pixie's also here. Hello, I'm willing. That's fair. That is meant to be feed her to the beast, by the way, as opposed to anything else beginning with F. Thank you for clarifying. You cannot do a doable quiz. So I can. I promise. This will be it. I did comment saying that you enjoyed that one, right? I'm right in thinking you enjoyed I Feed It to the Beast.
Me?
Yeah.
I liked it. I had some quibbles with it, but it was a good read, and it was very well written.
Cool. I feel like Pixie's on the same. Yeah. Obsessed.
Yeah.
I can, but I don't.
Pixie, get out.
You're at the Tish?
Yes, my brother was trying to come in, and I was like, I'm busy, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm sat right by the front door, so I'm waiting for Zach to come home from work before he goes out, and for me to just shush him the entire time he walks past. Okay, so I guess without any further ado, you'll be fine. I suppose we should start.
Yes.
So make sure you've got pens and paper. Guess if you could full screen it, so that we're not seeing anyone else's questions, that would be great, or answers to questions, because I imagine people will have comments for the comments. But it should be. The first one is obviously general knowledge. Round number 1 is general knowledge, because it has to be. Then we can get it out of the way. Then it's done. We don't have to worry about it. And I have written the questions, and I will read the questions out so that you've got some time to think about your answer. And with some of them, I've even led with hints to try and help. So the first question: which literary competition is named after the man who coined the phrase science fiction? So a literary competition named after a man that coined the phrase science fiction. This was in 1920, by the way, as a bonus fact.
Do I even know any literary competitions? That is
Think
the question.
Science fiction specifically and fantasy book competitions.
I feel like I know it.
It's one where you will absolutely know this. I didn't want to be like, who was it named after, because that felt really mean. But yeah.
I'm gonna know it when you say, which obviously is really helpful right now.
I would hedge your bets with a really well-known science fiction competition.
That would be great. If
My
I could
question
remember
is
any.
My question is Pixie's question, because if it's Pixie's question, then I know the answer.
Yes, so you get an award for a competition, but it is technically yeah.
Okay, cool. I got this.
Also, talk about not full screening, Olivia, so you can see their comments.
Oh wait, sorry, I didn't realize that was pointed at me. Oh
No,
my
that's
gosh,
everybody.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. So far, no one has put what the answer is, but
Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, but I love the chat. It's chaos. Okay. Well.
The
I
chat is
trust
chaos.
you.
Okay, I tell you
You
what, we can leave it open so
them.
long as people don't put answers in. I think we can trust people not to put answers in. Okay, are you ready for question 2?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Which science fiction author has avoided using ATMs, computers, and cars? A
That is
really
iconic.
well-known science fiction author who refuses to use any of these things.
Do I know anything about science fiction? That's my main question after two questions.
This one I've added because it's ironic. It's interesting considering the books they've written. They completely avoid using it. Their reason for not using computers is that they saw it as it would help degrade society if we spent too much time on computers.
Do you know, I feel like I know
I
this.
don't know if it's the pressure of being on the quiz, but I can only think of one science fiction author, so I'm going with it. It's probably wildly wrong. But
I mean, I guess it's a
and
guess.
as I write it, I'm like, I'm not even sure whether he's a science fiction author anymore. I don't know what's happening.
That's fair. That's fair.
But also, to be an author and not use a computer is just a pain. Like a
Right?
pain.
Yeah.
So what do they use, a typewriter?
They write by hand.
Oh, God.
Right? Imagine being the editor. Because let's be honest, you're the one that's going to have to type that up for everyone else.
Jesus.
As someone who works in publishing, I've had an author who doesn't use a laptop before, and they had to pay somebody to transcribe it because no time.
Yeah.
No. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I like Pixie's answer of Mary Shelley because she wouldn't have had access to those things. It specifically says avoided. They were available to the author. They just chose not to. Right, you ready for question 3? Yes? No? Ready?
Yes.
So I don't want to rush you because I'm just sat here waiting. So I don't want to be like, I'm bored. Let's move.
It's okay.
Question
You make
3.
these questions so easy. We're just going to breeze through them.
Yeah, of course. What is the name of the science fiction subgenre that encourages optimistic outcomes of technology and society? So there is a very specific type of science fiction that is like, it's okay, guys, as opposed to apocalyptic. Also, Pixie, to answer your question, yes, that is in real life, not in the books. Ellen's like, we're going to be learning. Today's a learning day.
This feels like a quiz I studied all the wrong answers for.
Oh, you did. That'll be the right answer. Okay. Question 4. Which American author wrote the original time travel novel, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, 6 years before H.G. Wells wrote The Time Machine?
I have no clue.
I think American author older than H.G. Wells. Sounds terrible.
I think for my classic sci-fi, I really like British authors. I'm realizing.
It's all right. Pixie's mad at me on your behalf. I've really led with the American bit, and I don't know why I've put an extra question mark there. But which American author wrote the original time travel novel?
I've got an author's name in my head that I want to put for this, and I can't remember his name. But I remember.
Do you know another book of his? Because I will allow. If you get another book of his, I'll be like, I know who you mean.
I'll put the book, but I don't even think the answer's right. But it's for the lols.
It's for the lols.
I can't think of any American authors, like even modern ones. I'm falling apart. I'm under the pressure, I think.
I promise you, as with all my quizzes, the general knowledge round is the most difficult. The rest of them are pretty easy.
Well, this is just bad because I'm not a sci-fi person. So, like, I don't even have a small idea for any of these questions.
That's fair. I mean, it'll give the others a chance because you won Creature Feature and Final Girl, right?
Yes.
So
I
it gives
didn't
the
need
others
that
a
reminder.
chance.
I didn't need to be reminded.
Aw.
Okay, so now this is an attack? Is it? Okay.
Just like,
I
now it is
understand.
on.
They said no more for you.
I also love that, Gemma, you said, I'm falling apart. And you were like smiling and you're just like, I'm falling apart.
It's my usual state. I'm used to it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, tell me you're a parent without telling me you're a parent. I'm smiling, but through the pain. Okay, next. In which decade, and I've given you multiple choice this time, in which decade do you think the word spaceship was first created? 1980, 1880, or 1780? When were spaceships as a word invented?
Love multiple choice. Feels like a blessing.
There is one more multiple choice as well that comes at the end.
Wait,
was
which
like,
question is this?
Question 6?
6? Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
I
done.
only have 5.
Wait.
I thought it was
Oh,
5.
no, it's deleted. Oh, that's really weird. It's deleted my question 4. That's really weird. My question 4, I'll add it. I'll add it next because question 4 has been deleted. So I'll make that question 6.
Okay.
So this would be 5.
This would be 5.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
I mean, it's appropriate according to Ellen.
One of them got lost in time. It's true. A completely wild, non-bookish question. It's language-based. It counts. Okay, so the question that got lost was which popular sci-fi novel originally started as a blogged diary before it was picked up by Crown Publishing?
It's a really good question.
Can't wait to know the answer.
I can't wait to learn. You know what's
Look
really
forward to
funny
finding out.
The reason I put this one in the middle is because I mentioned it. I actually gave you this fact in the last live show we did.
You're so mean, Hannah. I
thought I was giving this one away. I was like, we've talked about it. They'll remember. It was a fun fact with Hannah.
No, I haven't got it.
That's fair. Okay, let's move
There's
on.
a lot of blanks and guesses in my answers.
That's
Just
fair.
FYI.
Okay, cool. Brunner's 1969 book, Stand in Zanzibar, correctly predicted the creation of which pill? Think funny.
Do I get a bonus point if I get why you said think funny?
Yes. But the answer would be because I'm a child. That would be the correct answer. I love that. I love the idea from Pixie of like, you've got to be caught up on the law. Like, you've got to be paying attention all the time.
Should have been taking notes.
Okay. Next. Which TV series invented iPads before Apple did?
I wrote that really confidently for someone that has no idea.
Fair. You're like, do you know what? It'll be this one.
Like, if it's not, I'll be surprised. But
That's
also,
fair.
I'll learn something.
There we go. There we go.
My eyes kind of glazed over the I in iPads, and I was like, Apple makes pads.
I wouldn't trust them if they did.
I wouldn't either. No, they probably take
like,
pictures and do a bunch of weird stuff that I don't
Yeah,
want
and
to
like, not only that, but like Apple intentionally makes their products degrade once you've used them a few times.
That's true.
And I'm like, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it.
But imagine, like, if that presentation thing that they do every year where all the men watch it, and then they're like, we have made pads. The outrage would be high.
They're like, what? Just gonna drop the I, they're still the same thing. They're like, no, definitely not that.
Yeah. Oh, Pixie's raised a really good point of like how expensive they would be. My other thought is, what other products would they use with it so that you couldn't use them? Because you know, like how like their mouse, for example,
That's true.
it has to be like an Apple mouse. You can't just use like a random mouse with it.
You'd
So,
probably
like-
have to pay extra for the box that they come in.
Right, the box, or like if it was like Tampax, like the dispenser would be sold
yeah.
separately. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They'd find a
The eye tampon.
Thank you, Abby. Incredible. Okay, next. Which science fiction film was inspired by apartheid and the Zimbabwean migration?
Oh my god. I know this one.
There we go.
But let's not jinx it. I think I know this one.
You know it.
I'm already second guessing myself.
Wally. Okay, and the last question of this round, we are finally through the woods. The Galactic Empire covers 1.3 million planets, but how many are explored in the Star Wars canon? Is it A, 128, B, 350, or C, 287?
Book quiz with numbers in it.
I haven't done a maths round, if that makes you feel any better. Okay. Do you need me to repeat any questions?
I don't.
I don't think it would help at this point.
Okay.
Could you actually repeat the second question?
Yes, I can. Which science fiction author avoided using ATMs, computers, and cars?
Okay. Thank you.
That is okay. Okay. Would you like to have some answers? Would you like some clarification? Number one, the Hugo Award.
Damn it!
Hugo goes back.
Oh my goodness. I put that first and then I was like, no, it has to be the Arthur C. Clarke Awards because that's his whole name.
No, it's the Hugo one. Which is really funny because H.G. Wells didn't like Hugo Goes Back because he basically coined the phrase science fiction and meant that any book that had to be published under science fiction he got money for. So H.G. Wells called him a rat in like a newspaper and like really came for him for doing that, which I think is very funny.
The absolute irony of me not being able to think of it and putting the H.G. Wells Award after you just said that.
So close. So close. Question number 2. The author that refuses to use computers, ATMs, etc. is Ray Bradbury.
I got that.
Oh.
Did you? Well done.
I knew this story from Simi, who loves Ray Bradbury.
There we go. Ye old author beat his best. I would never do that to you. I would never. Like, this isn't Countdown. We're not doing random maths. That's not happening. Don't panic. I could be reading a good book right now. I'm sorry you're not enjoying yourself. Question 3. So the optimistic science fiction is called solar punk.
Damn it.
In a response to steampunk.
I'm surprised it's not utopianism, but
Yeah,
That's what I put.
that makes sense. I did say dystopia, and I feel like at that point I'd led you down a merry path, and that's on me.
I think it's because dystopia is the opposite, and utopia is the opposite to dystopia, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily make it science fiction because, anyway, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So then the 4 question got moved. So it was instead the American author that wrote the Yankee in Arthur's Court. That was Mark Twain.
Mm.
Mark Twain wrote the first time travel book before H.G. Wells did. It just wasn't as popular. Proven by the fact that Ellen said it sounded shit.
The book that the author I wanted to put was the author of The Foundation, but all I could think was Isaac Newton, and I know that's not his name.
You're thinking of Isaac,
Yeah,
as opposed to Isaac Newton.
that's it. That's it.
The year or the decade that the word spaceship was brought into our vernacular was 1880.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
There's my one solo point.
Which is crazy because, science fiction as a phrase wasn't used until the 1920s, I don't think, or like commonly used.
I feel
Well,
like if
space
it was
travel
used
wasn't.
any earlier, somehow they would have slapped like witchcraft on it, and it would have been a bad time.
For sure. For sure. So then question 6 became the one that should have been 4, which is what popular science fiction book started as a blog diary, and that is Andy Weir's The Martian. It was self-published.
It makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't put it, but it makes so much sense.
What did you put, Jem?
I put no idea.
That's fair. That's fair. You're like, just to remind myself for this one,
Yeah.
not a clue.
No, not a clue.
I put Wool by Hugh something because that was also self-published. So I was going with like it's something that was self-published and then trad published.
That's fair. Jem being incredibly relatable. Always, day in, day out. Why we love Jem's content so much. Like, I see a lot of myself in you.
Just trying to get through the day.
For sure. Question 7 has actually already been spoilt by Abby unintentionally. The pill that was inspired by I can't remember what it was. Let me just scroll back.
Stand in Zanzibar?
That's it. Stand in Zanzibar is Viagra.
Yes, I have a point.
There's a few things that they kind of implied in that book that then came to pass. But yes, the pill that is mentioned is Viagra.
And it's funny because of 1969?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. The TV series that invented iPads before Apple did was Star Trek. Is that another point, Jem?
Yes. And it was the one that I wrote really confidently and then second guessed myself immediately. So
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to write the first thing that comes to mind from now on and not think about it.
Go with your gut. Go with your gut, absolutely.
That's a terrible plan, but we'll see.
Fair. Question 9 was the sci-fi film that was based on the apartheid and Zimbabwe migration was District 9, which was also pointed out was really funny because I put that as question 9. I think it was Andreas who put that. Yeah, I did. And then the last one was how many planets are explored in the Star Wars canon, and it is 128.
Which is which letter?
A. So, let me just make space. Olivia, how many points did you get?
I got 4.
Nice. Jem, how many points did you get?
3.
And Tish?
3. I'm happy with that.
There we go. It's a strong start.
It's
a strong
more
start.
than I thought I was going to get. I'm not going to
Me too.
When the question started, I was like, shit.
Welcome to one of my quizzes. Yeah. So the next round, you only have to put in one word. I've removed a word from the title.
Okay.
Some of them are really obvious, some of them aren't as obvious, so feel free to take a guess. But I have not used the same word more than once. So if that helps at all, if you're like, I think it might be this, but I've already used that word, it probably isn't. So, question 1. we have The Blank of the Knobheads by Stanton A. Coblentz. Which I think is one of my favourite titles ever.
You had so much fun making this quiz.
I really did. How can you tell? Number 2. Blank of the Wank by Jack Vance. They did later change it to the Wanek because Jack Vance is not British and didn't think we'd find this word as funny as we did.
This is so hilarious. I don't know what the word is, but I'm going to write the word that I want it to be.
I love that. Yes. Do you know what? I will give bonus points if your word is better. Like, if it's a funnier one than the actual title, I will absolutely give you a bonus point for that. The next one is The Blank at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams.
I feel like I should know this one, but I don't.
I do too. Oh well.
I only know it from watching Abby's wrap-ups.
Yeah. I unfortunately encouraged Abby, Becca, and I to do it as a read-along, and then even though we read all the books, I refused to do the live shows because I had nothing nice to say about this series. The first one's fun, and then the rest of them are either boring, misogynistic, or racist. And I was like, I'm good. I'm done now. I
And
think.
everybody agreed with that. Like, all of you review these books exactly the same way.
Yeah. We were like, there's nothing to add. Like, our live shows would have been 10 minutes long because we would have been like, I hated it. Did you hate it? I also hated it. Cool. We all hated it. Done.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Nice seeing you. What great content. Okay. Next one. Infinity Welcomes Blank Drivers by Grant Naylor. This was then turned into a TV series called Red Dwarf.
You said Red Dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Very different name.
Loved Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf as a series was great. The TV series. I've not read the books, but the TV series was great.
No.
I definitely feel like this is turning into me just writing the first thing that comes to mind instead of
Fair.
like thinking about it.
Yeah. That's fair. Like I said, if it makes me laugh, you're getting a bonus point regardless. So okay, next.
Sorry, there's someone at my door. I will be right
No
back.
worries. Blank of the Coffee Bean. Always, Pixie. I always know this.
Cool. I have not read any of these books, Hannah.
That's fair. I reckon you'll recognise the films, though. The films bit, I reckon you'll get loads of points.
When have films been my strong point? I mean, the films rounds, that is.
That's fair. No, I think you will with this one, though. Okay, next. The Android's What by John Scalzi.
This is one of my authors.
Is it?
Yeah,
So you got no excuse to not know this one then.
I know. I started this job recently, though.
That's fair. That's fair. Sorry, we won't tell him.
He could just stalk me online and find me in this live show.
That's commitment, though, to be like, I'm going to actively look at everything you're tagged in to then find where you are, to then see that you didn't read my book.
He doesn't have time anyway. Fun fact, he's also a DJ, so...
Oh, that is a fun fact. Okay, next. John Blank at the End by David Wong. Sorry, I've just seen it fixing. Yeah. Yeah. Most of these are Goodreads' highest ranked sci-fis.
I feel like
I've never heard of one of them.
And I feel like they're mostly ranked by white old men's reading taste.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Next. Bimbos of the Death What by Sharon McCrum, which is just a great surname.
I'm having so much fun making up my answers.
But you can only use it once, Abby. Potentially. Next. Blank in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein.
I also love that you put the year as if that's going to help me.
Yeah. I really did. I was like, this will make it easier.
I'm really gunning for these bonus points or half points. Whatever it's going to be.
That's fair. Again, we're nearly done. We're nearly done. Okay, last one. The Hollow Blank Bunnies of the Apocalypse.
Nailed it.
Love that. Right, I am going to scroll
10 for
back
10.
because I want to hear you read your full titles out.
Oh God. Sure.
So, Tish, what have you got for question 1?
Home of the Knobheads.
Fair. Jem?
Curse of the Knobheads.
That's just daily
Or as
life,
I like to
right?
call it, society.
Perfection. And Olivia?
War of the Knobheads.
Fair. The correct answer is planet. So I'm going to give a
Nice.
half point to Tish because I feel like home and planet are very, very similar in that. And Jem, that made me laugh. So yes, you can also have a point for Curse the Knobhead. Okay.
A whole
number-
point.
A whole point.
Did I get a half point or a whole point?
You get a half point because home is not planet, but it's close enough.
I also love the comments Rise of the Knobheads and
Yeah.
Dance of the Knobheads.
yeah. Again, that's just nightly life in a new London town, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. Number 2, Tish, what have you got?
Journey of the Wank.
Nice. Incredible. Jem?
Hand of the Wank.
Nice. Yep, nice. Olivia?
Pool of the Wank.
Yeah, all 3 of you get points. None of you got it right, though. The correct answer is Servants of the Wank.
Okay.
I don't know if that's any better, to be honest.
It's not. It's so good, though. Oh, incredible. Question 3. The what at the end of the universe? What have you got, Tish?
The Door.
Nice. Jem?
The pub.
Oh, close. Very close. Olivia?
I know it's the restaurant at the end.
It
of
is the
universe.
restaurant. But I will give you half, Jem, because that is very, very close. It is the restaurant at the end of the universe. Next. Infinity welcomes what drivers? Tish?
Short.
Nice. You get a bonus point for making me laugh, but it's not correct.
Fast.
Fair. But no.
I literally couldn't think of anything.
That's fair. That's fair. Olivia?
I put Fast and Furious. I know it's supposed to be one word, but
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I love that you put Fast and Furious. You can have a bonus point because that's funny. The answer is careful drivers. Infinity welcomes careful drivers.
That's so boring.
I know.
Yeah.
However, Fast and Furious drivers in space would be great. I feel like that's where the franchise is going, to be fair.
This is true.
Then we have what of the coffee bean? Tish?
Taste of the coffee bean.
That's more of a contemporary, but fair. Jem?
Brew of the coffee bean.
Also fair. Olivia?
Grind of the coffee bean.
The true answer is war of the coffee bean.
Okay.
We just all went for just making coffee.
Just make, yeah. You guys are all like, this is a super chill book. And I'm like, no. Battles.
Grind
death.
it, brew it, taste it.
Okay, next. The android's what?
Choice.
No, but good answer, but no. Jem?
Dream.
Yep. And Olivia?
Dream is correct.
Dream is correct. It's the android's dream.
Vengeance instead. R.I.P.
John what at the end?
Dies.
Correct. Jem?
Dies.
Nice. Olivia?
John Wick at the end of the universe.
You can have a bonus point. John Wick at the end of the universe, I would watch. But yes,
Someone
it is
email
one.
Keanu Reeves. We have the next
Immediately.
installment.
That's fair. Okay. Bimbos of the Death what? Tish?
Bimbos of the Death Army.
Nice. Jem?
Bimbos of the Death Cult.
Also nice. Olivia?
Bimbos of the Death Barbies.
Death Barbies. I guess bonus point because it made me laugh, but it's actually of the Death Sun.
Okay.
S-U-N.
Oh.
But I feel like it should have been Bimbos of the Death Cult. I feel like that felt
Well,
right.
makes sense.
You know?
Yeah. Also the star.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it's
that would have been cool.
yeah. I think that's probably where George Lucas got Death Star from, as opposed to like it being. This one will irritate you if you've got it wrong. So, what in a strange land?
I put robot.
Nice. Jem?
Stranger.
That is correct. It is Stranger in a Strange Land. Olivia?
I put panic! Exclamation mark.
Yeah, you can have a bonus point for that as well. I like that. Panic in a Strange Land. But yeah, it's Stranger in a Strange Land.
Wow.
Which I think is a dumb title. That's so stupid. And then the last one. The Hollow What Bunnies of the Apocalypse.
Fluffy.
Cute. Jem?
If it isn't chocolate, I'm going to be mad.
It is chocolate. The Hollow Chocolate Bunnies of the Apocalypse. Is that what you put as well, Olivia?
I did not put chocolate. I put zombie.
That's fair. The Hollow Zombie Bunny of the Apocalypse would also have worked. But no, the correct answer is the Hollow Chocolate Bunnies of the Apocalypse.
Wow.
I love that.
I want to read the book now.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, counting up our scores. Olivia, what did you get?
I got 7, but I totally rode on bonus points.
That's fair. That's fair. Jem?
Got 6.5. But again,
Nice.
bonus points came through.
Bonus points. They come through sometimes. That's fair.
Mm.
Tish?
I only got 3.5.
That's fine. That's good. Okay, cool. Right. Round 3. This is the films round. So you're going to see cast, but I've not used the same cast members multiple times. So if they're in multiples of these films, you will not see them come up again, which is why some of them might seem a bit obscure. And I didn't want to make it super easy, but some of these are really obvious.
No, why would you? No, why would
Right?
you? Because they
Why
Well,
would I
like-
make it easy for you?
Are
Exactly.
they like the names in the film or like the actors' names?
So you just need to name the film that they're in. So all of them are in the same film. What film are they in? And it is a sci-fi film.
Okay.
Okay. Question 1. What film are they all in?
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Is this?
I do not remember 2 of them being in the film that I put, but I've gone for it anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And also, I'm wondering whether I've got her mixed up with the other one. That looks exactly like her.
The other redhead.
I'm always getting them confused.
That's fair. They do look very similar. They do look very similar.
I
Okay.
can't even. I'm so bad at recognizing actors. I only know one actor here.
That's fair.
You got
Is it-
Matthew McConaughey, Jessica
Yeah.
Chastain, Timothy Chalamet, and I don't remember that guy's name, but
I think it's
he's been
like
in a lot.
John Lithgow, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Have we all got a guess at least?
Huge
Cool.
fan of Jessica's work.
Next.
Oh.
The fact that we all knew who Jem meant with the other one.
I did not know these people had been in a film together.
Mm-hmm. In the last couple of years too.
Oh, so it's recent.
This one's recent.
This
Oh.
is the only one I knew straight away. I mean, we've only done two, but
I feel like I knew.
I know this one.
That's fair. Let me know when you've all had a guess and I'll move on.
I have no idea.
I feel like I know the film, but I cannot remember what it's called.
That's fair. We ready to move on?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Yes.
You sound
I
disappointed.
know this one.
You're like,
No.
that's what she's
Ow!
gone for.
This is like one of my favourites. I know this one.
Yeah, no, this is one of my favourites too.
Mm.
It's a great film.
One of my most rewatched because I had a massive crush on Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Me too.
Same, but for Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Freebie.
And them together, the chemistry on screen, beautiful. Beautiful to watch.
Stunning.
As Emma realizes.
Yeah. Wait, Leo was in a sci-fi? He was indeed. Okay, next.
Okay, I got it. I was like,
I was like, Olivia has to get this one. Like, I'll be so surprised if you don't.
I was really thinking really hard.
What, this one, Emma, or the one before? The one film you've seen in the cinema. We all got a guess? Cool. Next.
Nice.
Thanks. I don't know who any of these people are. How dare you?
I
Keanu
know
Reeves
one.
is on the screen.
Right, you ready for me to move on?
Yeah.
I have ADHD. Oh.
This one's probably a little mean. It's probably mean.
I don't know, even though I feel like I've watched this film.
I'm pretty sure you have. At the very least, you'll have seen clips of it. You'll have seen references to it. But I've not picked the main three people in it. Because I was going to pick another film they were in and then didn't in the end. So I've chosen these two who are in it quite a lot.
Was one of them a kid when they were in it?
Both of them were a kid when they were in it.
Oh, there's two. Okay.
It feels really mean.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I feel mean doing this one. The last two actors were children actors in it.
Okay.
The other two were not.
The reason I say that is because the boy was in quite a few films when he was a kid. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
he probably was a.
Yeah, but so was she.
I don't recognize her.
I'm staring at them like it's going to help.
My favorite thing is Emma saying, for our theme next year, we should do musicals just to give them a chance.
But I do like musicals, but gothic musical. Actually,
I don't know. Phantom of the Opera is the first one that came to mind for me, and then you've got Les Mis as well.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
You could do Wicked.
there is probably a way of making that work.
Oh my god, I think it just clicked.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
I'm
Next.
just gonna guess. Oh, he wasn't in that one. Okay.
It throws me when I see actors who I know in like are a very famous thing, and then I'm like, I can't think of anything but the very famous thing that they are in.
Lord of the Rings, right? I'm just
Yeah.
staring at it like Elijah Wood was in Lord of the Rings. That's all I know.
That's
He
all I've
was.
got.
Can confirm none of the others were.
I know. I know all these people, but I've never seen them in a film together.
Yeah.
Have I?
I don't know if you've seen this film. You might have seen this film.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
I will say again, I didn't use the leading lady from this one because I was going to do a different film, which I didn't do.
No, because you are mean, Hannah. Because you are mean.
And also because I'm a bully. That's the other reason.
Yeah, I got no clue.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yes. Oof.
I believe in you three that you can do this.
That was
Misplaced belief.
This is an easy one, I promise.
Is it?
Yeah. Think about who's not on there because they were in another one.
I don't remember anybody that's even other questions. I can barely remember who's on the page right now.
Emma's like, Aquaman? No. I'll give you this. It's not Aquaman.
Okay.
Right, delete that.
Is it in the same universe?
No. Not even the same planet.
Man.
Okay.
It's so weird because they're like, I feel like I can picture all their movies individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And I know that I recognize the third guy, but I don't know who he is, but I recognize him, so I've seen him in something or many
Stellan
things.
Skarsgård. Or Stellan Skarsgård even. He's Daddy Skarsgård of the guy that played It and
He's the
Eric.
dad?
Yeah, he's their dad.
Oh my gosh, so they're all Nepo babies? Oh,
Yeah. They're
no.
hot Nepo babies.
Very.
They've also got a third brother who plays the character Loki in Vikings.
Yeah.
None of this helped me at all, but I appreciate the information.
You're welcome. Would I like to be part of this family? Yes. Yes, I would.
Oh, for sure. I would like to be in this movie.
Mm.
Mm.
Specifically between Jason Momoa.
My favorite thing is anytime Tish gets even a little bit warm, the glasses start to move.
Yeah.
Like, the number of TikToks where you're talking about like your favorite like K-pop stars or whatever, and you're just like they just move. You know?
It's subtle. You know what I mean. I don't have to say it.
Don't mind me.
No.
Don't mind me. You know what? Mamma Mia also had a Skarsgård. Same Skarsgård. I would not. Okay, so I haven't done this. I have not picked an animated film for any of these. They were all people where you would actually see their faces.
I just have a
I
question.
didn't even think of that. Oh my gosh.
Is this recent? Or
Yes.
like it is
No,
recent?
this is recent.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember how recent, but pretty recent.
I'm just
So
gonna...
maybe I haven't seen it?
I think you have.
And it's a movie? It is a film.
In fact,
Are you going to look for a chat?
That's not okay. One sec.
Well, if I haven't, it's fine. I'm not gonna get it either which way. Like,
I'm pretty sure something similar was in your story recently. But it's fine. Anyway, next.
Okay.
Hint, David Bowie was also in this film. That was such a good reaction, Joe. Like, it was so subtle, but still, like, are you serious?
God, I was already confused.
I feel like there's only one movie I know where Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale were in this. They were in it together. So I'm gonna go with that
You
one.
know one more than me.
I'm just thinking, like, how can all these people be in the same film and I have not seen it? And it's sci-fi, apparently. Like,
It's a great film. This is a really good film.
okay, I wrote down an answer and it's not a very good film, so I immediately know I'm wrong.
Either that or we have very different tastes in films, and that's fair.
That's true.
I doubt in this case.
Okay. Are you ready for the last one?
As ready as I'm going to get.
Okay, last one.
Oh, no idea.
I think I've seen this film.
Now, would you like me to just list them to you, or would you like me to go back through them with the cast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, with the cast.
Okay, so number 1 is Interstellar.
Okay, good. That's 1 point. That's all I'm gonna get.
I didn't get it, but I haven't seen it, so I don't feel bad about it.
That's fair. That's fair. And number 2 is Poor Things.
Yes.
It's not Hulk versus La La Land?
No. I would watch that in a heartbeat. Hulk versus La La Land for sure.
Could you imagine the Hulk trying to do a musical number?
Yes.
Cities would be destroyed.
But also, I like that they're like the leads of Poor Things, so arguably, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is one of the best films I've seen this year. I honestly loved it.
3 is obviously Inception.
Great film.
Great film.
I
Wonderful.
love that film.
Also, I don't
Kinda
know
wanna
if any
watch
of
it
these,
now.
Yeah. I might.
Also, I
What
don't know
was
if any of these are franchises, because if they are, I've just put the franchise. If they're not, then I've got questions wrong.
That's fair. That's fair. I think some of these are. Okay, next. This is Transformers.
Yay.
Which I've
And it is
also
the
never
first one.
seen.
How have you not seen? I would have thought this would be so. It's like Fast and Furious, but with aliens.
It's literally been on my to watch list since it came out, and I've not.
Did it come out in like 2012?
Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
It's a
To be
great
fair,
film.
after like what is it? I feel like after the second one, they just don't do it for me as much.
Well, to be fair, Megan Fox isn't in them after the second one, I don't think.
That's true, but like the whole thing just gets
It's a bit
it
much
feels
after that.
yeah. And then the ones that Mark Wahlberg are in, I do not like.
No, I feel like much like the Fast and Furious franchise, you just got to stick with the first one, you know?
It's like enough. Enough.
Ted, I didn't hear that.
Do you know what? I literally just said it to see what kind of reaction I would get out of you, and it was such like a sibling huff at me, just like. For anyone who doesn't know, Olivia loves the Fast and Furious franchise, so is a big advocate for that franchise.
To be fair, I do too. It's just I miss when there was a little more story.
That's fair. That's fair.
I agree with all of these statements, and I still just like unashamedly love them.
Yeah.
And the
They're
best
so
one
much
is the
fun.
first one, in my opinion, still. So
Yes.
That's fair. 5 is obviously The Matrix.
Yes.
my brain was like John Wick, then I was like, it's not sci-fi.
No.
I freaking
No,
love
it's
John
not
Wick.
really. It's more like action adventure, isn't it?
Have y'all seen the previews
Yeah.
for the ballerina that's supposed to be in that universe, but it's a girl?
No.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be good.
yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
So.
It's Anna de Armas, if y'all know who she is. She's gonna play her.
I'm going to Google.
I started watching the trailer and then I stopped watching the trailer because I feel like it was showing me too much, but I still will watch it.
Okay, well, she's stunning, and I loved her in something else that I watched recently.
She was in
So-
Knives Out,
That's it. Yeah, loved it.
Oh, I love Knives Out.
So yeah.
and she
yeah,
was a
that.
Bond girl. I'm pretty sure, like in the recent one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Okay, 6 is Jurassic Park, which is why I felt really mean. Because those two were the children. That was Lex and so I can't remember his name.
I was staring at them for so long, and then when you said they were child actors, I was staring at them even harder. And then suddenly I was like, wait a minute. I know a film that the other two were in together a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only reason I
Way back
got it.
when.
I was like, if they look like this now.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about Jurassic Park.
Me too.
Well, I was gonna do a Star Wars, which is why I didn't put Laura Dern in it.
Oh,
And then I was like, and then by that point I hadn't. I put Jurassic Park as a joke. And you were correct for the joke. Next. This is The Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Is this the
Oh
one
my
where there's a
God.
still with Frodo guy with guns
Mm.
in a dressing gown?
That's not Frodo guy. That's Daniel Radcliffe, and that is a completely different film where he wakes up and he's had nails put through his hands to stop him letting go of guns. That's a completely different film, but hilarious to me that the classic Elijah Wood, Daniel Radcliffe, Tobey Maguire thing of they all look the same continues.
I put The Truman Show.
that's what I did too.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, next. This is Dune Part 1.
I haven't seen it, but I got it. I had no idea these people were in June.
Yeah.
The only
I
reason I
said,
got it is because you
listen.
said think of someone else from a previous one, and the only person I could think of was Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I
only
got
person
it.
I could remember.
Welcome.
I love how Zendaya's not in this. Would have guessed
Do
it
you know
immediately.
what it was? It was purely because when I opened up all their IMDb things, all of her photos were like her full body as opposed to just like torso and head.
Mhm.
So all of the photos were really zoomed out, and I had 6 minutes until I was going to jump on. So I was like, I need to do this quickly, and that is why it ended up being all men. Otherwise, Zendaya would have been first on that list.
I put Dune because of Aquaman guy and what you said about before. I still do not recall Star Wars guy being in that film.
Apparently, he was. He's on the list.
Isn't he like the dad?
I thought Isaac.
Oh, is he the dad? I don't know. I've never seen it.
Dunno.
I'm just guessing.
I'm just
No,
guessing.
Yeah, I think you might be right, actually. I think he is the dad.
Okay, next. This is The Prestige.
Oh, I've never seen that.
The one and
So-
only movie I remember them in together.
Yeah, 2 magician films came out around the same time. The Illusionist, which I haven't watched and I've heard is terrible, and The Prestige, which has Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman in. And I am not going to say any more than that because the plot twist in it is wild.
It's so good.
I haven't
It's a
watched
good
The
time.
Prestige because I had a friend who was like obsessed with it at the time. And
Mm.
what turns me off watching something is when people are way too obsessed with it.
Mhm.
So I never watched it. I put Lucy because I know that's got Scarlett Johansson and it's sci-fi and that film is awful.
Oh god, I hated Lucy. So we're on the same page with that one. Lucy is bad. That is bad writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many scenes where I felt like she sounded like she was just talking. Like,
Yeah.
it was weird.
Yeah. It was not good. It was decidedly not good. And then the last one of this round was The Martian again.
Yay.
Oh, Jem, no. What did you put?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh.
Just a blank space. I've not seen The Martian because I only read it like last year, and I keep meaning to go and watch the movie.
That's
And
fine.
I think I even have it recorded, and I just had no idea these people were in it.
I mean, Matt Damon's the lead. He's on the front cover.
I remember he was in it, but I had no idea the other people were in it.
Oh, that's
And now
Matt Damon.
He was the only one I recognized.
That's
It's a very good film. I saw this and I was like, it's one of the Interstellar's, Gravity, and I was like flicking through them all in my head, and then I was like, Martian.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
They do look all the same. You're
Square
absolutely
face
right.
white guys. So true, though. So true.
Oopsie.
Okay, total up your scores. I'll get my little spreadsheet out. Olivia, how many points did you get?
5.
You all say it's so sad. Can I have it with a bit more enthusiasm, please? Jem, how many points did you get?
5.
6. And Tish?
7.
Nice.
Nice.
7.
I am a movie buff, so this is the only redeeming part of the quiz where I'm like, I feel super confident about.
Well, to be fair, Tish is currently on 14.5 points. Jem is on 15.5 points. And Olivia is on 16. So there is only a half point in it so far.
So close.
With 2 more rounds to go. So,
Very quick.
round 4. There's only 5 slides on round 4, but you get 2 points. You get 1 for the name of the book and 1 for the author. But because I've hidden both of those things, you are just going to get a sci-fi front cover, which is why this round is called Got It Covered.
Brilliant.
Nice.
So, question 1. We need author and title.
I swear I've seen that cover before.
The way I'm prepared to say which country edition it is.
That's not right.
I thought it was a picture riddle we have to solve.
It does look like one.
That is kind of funny.
Are they ready for the next one?
Yes.
I've seen this cover before as well. Can't think of any books I've ever heard of.
Like none of these books. I know no books.
And just in general, all the books I've ever heard of in my life have left the building.
That's fair. These 5 are the most read sci-fis of this year, which is why I've picked them. I refuse to read pretty much all bar one of these authors. So I don't know if that gives you a hint as to who these could be. But if you want, I can move on to question 3.
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Okay, cool. Ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So just Hannah discreetly smiling to herself as we're all like.
There's nothing discreet about it. I'm like, I know what it is. That is not question 5. That is, well, it should be question 5. There should be another one before that. It's done the same thing again.
This is 4 to me.
Yeah, no, that's for some reason it's deleted 4. So, question 5. Which is ironic
Another one.
because question 4 was the only one that I would be prepared to read because I've not read anything by that author before.
This is so
So this
sad.
round will be out at 8. I don't know why it's done that. It's done that twice now.
What the fuck is that book called? I own it.
Jim's like, I have it somewhere.
I own it and it's hidden on my shelves, and I'm really annoyed because if it was like easily visible, then I could just look at it. But no, I've got to cover it with that unhaul that's been sat in the corner of my room for 6 months.
Well, this author needs to let their publisher know because it is marketed as a sci-fi.
I haven't read it, but I didn't think it was a. I thought it was a. Not
Fantasy.
sci-fi. Yeah, I thought it was fantasy.
According to Goodreads, Amazon, and Waterstones, it is a sci-fi.
Mm.
So it must be a gardener's thing. It must be just that they've logged it in there as that.
Or it might be. I haven't read it, so.
That's fair. Right, let's go back to the beginning of this round. For question 1, what are our guesses?
The Midnight Library by Matt Haig.
It is indeed The Midnight Library by Matt Haig.
I put The Humans by Matt Haig because I couldn't freaking remember. But
You
I
still
got
get a
Matt
point.
Haig.
You still get a point for Matt Haig. You got the author
Dang
correct.
it.
So you still get a point. Number 2.
Stephen King.
It is Stephen King.
Is it The Institute?
It is The Institute.
I had no clue.
That's fair.
I knew I recognised the cover. I put Train Carriage Boy by an author.
Train Carriage Boy.
To be fair, I put The Last Train Home by Paul Tremblay.
Oh, cute. Yeah, that's fair.
I love it.
It's the US edition of the Midnight Library, which is
Yeah.
why you've never seen it, Emma.
Okay, and 3.
The Testaments.
The
by
Handmaid's
Margaret
Tale?
Atwood.
Oh,
It is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood.
I put The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret whatever her name is.
Yeah, it's the sequel.
Damn it.
I know.
The
still get
hat
one more.
threw me.
Do you know what? I'll give you a half because I feel like Handmaid's Tale, you were in the right universe.
Thank you.
You don't want to read this, Hannah?
I've read The Testaments and I've read Handmaid's Tale and I've read one other book by Margaret Atwood. I will not read any more books by Margaret Atwood after she made some turfy comments about language on Twitter.
I think since then she has retracted and apologized.
Has she? Oh, okay, fair enough.
She has.
Maybe I will then. But it was just when it all kicked off, it was
It was not great.
unpleasant.
Yeah.
And it was right around the time that like Philip Pullman was also doing something very similar, and it was just, how about all my favorite authors just shh.
Close your mouth, please.
Yes. And then the last one, which apparently is not a sci-fi, but is a sci-fi on everything else.
Starsight by Brandon Sanderson.
It is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson.
You said we get 1 for the author, right?
You do, yeah. So you would get 2 points normally if you get the full thing right. You get 1 for just title or 1 for just author.
What is it called?
Starsight.
Damn it. I put
What'd you
Starflight. I was like, I know it's Star something.
It stars something. Okay, back to the scoreboard. How do we do? Olivia.
6.
Excuse me.
Nice. Gem?
3.5.
Okay.
It's not a good round.
It's good. You've got 19 points. You're doing okay. Tish?
7.
Nice.
Damn.
There is now only a half point between Tish and Olivia,
Damn.
with only one more round to go.
Oh no.
Watch this be the one I tank.
This is it. So I wanted to get the prophecies in there somehow. I was like, I'm going to squeeze them in the last round. I always include a round like this. It's not necessarily always the last round, but I always include a round which is a missing vowels round. So each of these will be chosen one characters. That does not necessarily mean that these are all sci-fi films. Some of these are not sci-fi films, but they are all chosen ones in their TV, book, or film franchise.
Oh gosh, I'm going down.
So, number 1.
Are we writing down the character or the franchise?
Yeah, so you're essentially just filling in the blanks.
Right, okay.
If you do want to get a bonus point to say what they are the chosen one in, I'm happy to offer bonus points to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm curious about Pixie's question as well. What was question 4 going to be in the covers round?
It was going to be Prophet Song by Paul Lynch.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have got that.
It's one where it's like still quite new, but it has like the black and red, almost like puzzle pieces, like zigzags on the cover.
Quite literary.
Yeah.
Won a lot of awards.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I'm too busy reading about clown cults.
Do you know what? Fair, valid, and reasonable. Because Gemini accidentally body read Clown in a Cornfield 3, and we spent like most of this afternoon just sharing thoughts on it. Because Gem put that it was on their to-do list of like to read a certain number of chapters, and I was like, I'm reading it as well. And I was also really worried. I put it on my Discord. I wasn't sure if Clown in a Cornfield 3 was going to count as my LGBT read, because the first 2 books center a really cute gay couple, and then the third book, they're only in the epilogue. So I was like, I don't really feel like that counts. But like they are in the wider series, but just not in this book. So I need another gothic LGBT book for me to feel like I've done it properly, I think. But I am planning on reading The Wicked Remain for my disability rep, which also has BIPOC rep and LGBT rep in it. So I feel like if I'm ticking off that one, I can kind of balance it out a little bit. But we shall see.
I'm also going to respond to Alan on, I agree, I would not have put Prophet Song as sci-fi, but if it's dystopian, then it does count, because dystopian is a subgenre of sci-fi. But people love to market it as literary fiction so that more people buy the book.
Yeah, I just said it's more like speculative. But then speculative is also like a subgenre, I guess.
Yeah.
Sci-fi. There's so many types of sci-fi. Okay, number 2. Do you know what I love? That went up, and both Gem and Tish at the same time were like, yeah, got it. Like, immediately.
Whereas I'm like,
Who could it be?
Okay, I feel like I got it now.
Okay.
Hopefully. Don't want to embarrass myself.
This one might be slightly trickier. Okay, next. Oh, that's the same one. That's weird. We'll skip to that one. Wait, who was supposed to be 4?
Your slides are really playing you today.
Oh, no, 3 was supposed to be someone else. That's really weird. Yeah. Maybe I've just copy and pasted it poorly. Maybe the problem was me all along. So I guess this one will be out of 9. Yeah, I don't know. Clearly, I'm not vibing with number 4. Okay, next. And next. Now this feels cruel, so I will say that this one, this character is Japanese.
Are there any cartoons in this?
This one is animated, yes.
Okay.
And yes, there is another animated. Well, there's actually 2 more animated ones.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen this.
Me
I'm
either.
trying to make names, but I don't recognise anything that I'm making.
Okay, next.
For the ones that I don't know, I'm literally just putting in vowels until it looks vaguely like a name.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm hoping that I'm going to just randomly pull out a person I've never
Stranger
heard of
things
that
have
just happens to be right.
Doing exactly the same thing.
Penultimate character. This is another animated one, as your hint.
Is that the last one then?
And then the last one. And to answer your question as to why include that one, Emma, is because he is top of every chosen one list. So I was like, I will subvert it slightly, but it was kind of unavoidable, and I was running out of chosen one characters that would be very easily recognizable, considering I'm literally taking letters out of their name.
Bella Swan? Excuse me? No, I'm joking.
Chosen maybe, but not chosen one. I don't know if
She
that's...
is the chosen Cullen?
Okay, I will scroll back. So, first one is Anakin Skywalker from the Star Wars series.
You get 2 points for these.
You do. If you say Star Wars as well. Yeah. Next, we had Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Phew!
And then 3 was supposed to be John Connor from the Terminator, but it wasn't.
Oh.
It ended up being the same person twice. So we will skip them as 3 and go to them as 4, which is where they were supposed to be. This is Cara Thrace from Battlestar Galactica.
I was so close. I put Kira.
Close, very close. You're like, it's Biff.
That was my first thought. I was like, Biffy?
I thought it was Kirk. But then you'd have had the last K. Next, I think we all know who this is.
Katniss.
Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. Oh yeah. K is not a vowel. I told you, every day's a learning day.
It's okay. I had the same thought, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a consonant."
Yeah. Then we had Ash Williams from Ash Beats the Evil Dead, or Ash versus the Evil Dead.
What's that?
I just put Evil Dead. Can I still
Yeah.
have my bonus?
Yes, you can, because technically
Thank
the
you so
series
much.
is called Evil Dead.
TV series.
No, it's a film series. It's what's the actor's name? Massive chin. He's in Spider-Man. Bruce Campbell.
Massive.
And there's got a huge chin.
No, like that's like something he's like. He talks about it a lot, like in his interviews, of like that's how he gets a lot of jobs, is because he's just got such a classic chin.
It's just funny. Like, who am I trying to think of? Massive chin.
Yeah. Thing is it Fairly Odd Parents that's got the crimson chin in it? Or is it something
Yes.
else? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just went and looked him up just to look at his chin.
Google the chin. Okay, so the next one, like I said, is a bit cruel because it's Japanese, but it's Usagi Tsukino, which is from Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Okay, I was guessing that.
Did you get it?
No. I was guessing. I came up with Asaga Tsuskuni.
Which is very close.
I think I came up with the same thing. Maybe slightly different as well.
Yeah, so USAGI TSUKINO.
I'm glad I.
What I've written looks like a name.
I literally
It's
guessed
just
the
not.
spelling on that and somehow got it right.
Nice.
Her last name.
Obviously, Neville Longbottom from the Harry Potter franchise, who I've put as a chosen one because, in all sense of the word, he was, except for the fact that he wasn't. Like, there's literally a bit in the book where I went to call him Gandalf. Then Dumbledore explains that the only reason Neville wasn't part of the prophecy is because Voldemort decided he shouldn't be. Other than that, his backstory is exactly the same as Harry's, and he has exactly the same character arc. So,
Wait, who decided he wasn't?
Voldemort.
Okay.
He literally was like, no, not you.
He was like, eeny, meeny, that one.
He said, not with a name like that, not you.
Yeah.
I can't have my nemesis have that
How
name.
am I supposed to say Harry Potter? Like, Neville. No, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. And it also, in the Mr. Potter, it just doesn't sound like Mr. Longbottom. Yeah, it's just not. It's a bit too British, isn't it? It's just a bit. Yeah. Next, we have Emmett Brokowski.
Wow.
Brokowski, because he is from the Lego Movie.
Oh my god.
Got that name.
Nice.
Yep.
Did not
Did
get
you know
that
it's from the Lego
guys.
Movie, or did you just guess?
I guessed.
Nice.
Kowski just seems like an American ending to things, even though it shouldn't be an American ending thing.
Mm.
Thinking of Monsters Inc., Mike
Mike Wazowski. Yeah.
Wazowski.
I think it's a Jewish ism, isn't it? From like Jewish surnames.
It
Which
sounds
is
like
why
it
it's
would be
so common
like
in America.
Chicago, New York
Mm.
area,
Yeah.
where that's where a lot of them actually.
I'm gonna Google it because that's
What's his character? Love how Emmett is the chosen one.
Emmett Brokowski. He's the main character, so he is essentially a
Oh yeah.
he's the chosen one in the fact that he can build things. I can't remember what it's called. It is like a builder, but it's the
Yeah.
idea that he doesn't see the world in the same way as everyone else.
I forgot that his name was Emmett, but yeah, that makes sense.
That movie is so funny. Like, it has no
Love
business
it.
being as funny as it is.
Yeah.
So does the
good.
Batman one. That's one of my favorites.
I hated the Lego movie the first time I saw it, but I was also doing so many babysitting gigs when it came out that I was forced to watch it 10 times, and now like I literally love it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So good.
Yeah, for the same reason. For the same reason. My other girlfriend. So I've just googled it, and it is a Polish suffix for surnames, which is why we find them so often in America. Is post-Holocaust, giving them refuge, etc.
Mhm.
And then the last one, we had Po from Kung Fu Panda.
Love those movies.
One of my favourite chosen ones. Poe's not a chosen one in Teletubbies. Poe is one of 4 in the Teletubbies. Poe from Kung Fu Panda is the chosen one.
I feel like Poe is the chosen one for being at the end of the song line.
I put pie. Incredible. So, final scores then. What did you get in that round, Olivia?
13.
Nice. Jem?
13.
Okay. I'm trying to do maths now. Tish?
15.
15.
Oh no, Tish reigns supreme.
Yep, it's another win for Tish. So Jem came in 3rd with 32 points, which I think is very respectable. Olivia with 35, and Tish wins with 36.5 points.
Wow.
A
So
triple
close.
threat.
Can't
the
shake her,
first time
can't shake
in a
her.
row.
Listen,
Tish
nobody is
won.
more shocked than me because I tanked that first round. I was like, oh, this is not going to be for me.
And yet, there we go.
Because of the movies
got
round.
10.
That one always saves me.
11, 25, 12, 23 and a half, 24. There we go.
I knew
Did
that
we
bronze
have
medal
fun?
was mine from the start. I knew it.
So there we go. There we go.
You did a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, but this is the thing, as I told you, like you have to have a bit more confidence. They're not impossible questions.
No, there was
The first
really
round,
simple.
I was like, I will name those impossible questions for me. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I did panic a little bit in round 1. I was like, oh god.
Well, this is the thing, is I always do the hardest round first. I'm like, let's start, and then everything else is gentle after that.
Yeah, sure. I would agree with that statement. Of course.
Yeah.
So gentle.
What do you win, Tish, other than our love and adoration? I feel like I feel like after 3 wins, you probably should win something, but alas.
I get to put champion in my name now. That's what I'll do on here.
There we go.
I'll be like the champion.
Triple winner. Triple winner.
Quiz
Right
queen. Because 3 out of 5 is like you are the quiz queen.
Yeah.
This is true.
Maybe that's what we do then, is next year you have to make the quiz. That's your prize. I hand the baton over to you, and I now must win 3 times to win it back.
Exactly.
That was not an impossible. I didn't say it was. It was not an impossible quiz.
I love that Emma's like, if I was a different person, I could win this quiz.
That's fair. Next round coming for Tish's quiz crown. I do feel like we need I'm telling you, thank you. Okay. I was expecting you after the roastings earlier. I was expecting you to be like, no. But I do feel like, Tish, we do need to get you some kind of quiz crown.
Okay.
At the very least. 3 for 3 wins is strong. Is very strong.
Wait, is it 3 for 3?
Yeah, well, it was literally Final Girl Creature Feature and this one.
Okay. I thought you meant like we've only done 3 quizzes and Tish has won them all.
No, I did a vampire one, but I don't know if were you on that one, Tish?
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know who won.
Vampire one is the one where we talked about how the reason pumpkins are known have a term that essentially means vampire fruit in Romanian is because when they're left out too long they explode.
Yes,
Yeah.
that wasn't that one.
Mm-hmm.
And also, see, I learned things. I think in China, if you throw rice at a vampire, they have to like pick up every single one.
Yeah,
So then
yes.
they have to count things. Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
so embarrassing.
Just like, I'm gonna tidy this up and then one.
Give me a second. One.
Just give me a second. Like, yeah, it is so cringe. Just be like, bear with.
Wait, I'm remembering all the facts. Is there a vampire where you steal the sock and then something happens?
I think we talked about like different traditions for getting rid of vampires.
Yes.
Because it was the rice, it was stealing. It had to be like their left sock or something. Because then they'll spend time chasing it or something like that. There was always like garlic. I also told the story of when I was in Romania and my tour guide was like, there are 2 ways to keep vampires at bay: garlic and schnapps. I was like, fair. I'm here for both. Give me both in copious amounts.
I want
The
them to
one
put
with the
rice
sock makes
in a movie
me
now.
think that. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I just say that the one with the sock makes me think that vampires must really hate washing machines.
Because there's always one guy who's missing. Yeah.
They just can't ever leave their house because they're
They
dismantling
only have
washing
red
machines
socks.
trying to find
They're
the socks.
perpetually buying more socks. Which is really hard to do because shops do close at 5.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank God for online ordering. It's really
Thank
the
you,
time to be a
Amazon.
vampire.
They've actually got one of those subscription boxes for socks, like the Happy Socks subscription box. So they get new socks every month.
All these vampires will come with these like bright, colourful socks.
Yeah.
At night.
Can we just say, I would so happily listen to like short story audiobooks of all these different like vampire shenanigans, like or like a graphic novel of all these like really domestic issues. Like yeah, Subbox. It had to be, right? Yeah, here for it. Well, I suppose I should go read something now. I feel like, or there being a readathon, I should read something. I finished 2 books so far, though. How are we all doing?
I finished 2. To
Nice.
be fair, they were manga, but
Still 2 books.
yeah.
And you've got a life you're living. We've got stuff to do.
They were really good. And the 3rd one is finally coming out at the end of this month, but it's been like a really long time. So I'm glad that I like waited forever to read them, because otherwise it'd be awful.
You'd be stressed. You'd be like, I need it.
Because they ended on a
Was
massive.
that Fangs?
Yes, it ended on such a big cliffhanger, and I was like, "Oh God, thank goodness! I'll get it at the end of the month. We'll be good. We'll be fine."
I really want to read it, but I'm glad that you kind of told me about the cliffhanger, so I'll just wait now. I'll wait until it's all out.
Which one's that?
It's Fangs.
Not the Sarah Anderson one. Not the Sarah Anderson one. Something else. Because that's the only thing that comes up when I look it up. There's a book called Fang Fiction, and that really tickled me.
Yeah, it's coming. I think it's coming out. I've been seeing it around, and I'm like, oh, let me look at these reviews.
Okay. There's also another book called Kiss Kiss Fang Fang.
I do like a good punny title.
Me too.
I was reading Honey Cut by Sarah Simone, and I got so many responses to my story because people were inserting another letter into the word cut, which I wouldn't put past Sarah Simone, but that's totally not the title.
Wow.
Everybody was like, and I was like, no, guys, Honey Cut.
Yikes. I'd watch that. I'd watch that.
I love it.
What are you currently reading, Jem?
What aren't I? Well, I'm still trying to make my way through House of Leaves. I've been reading it since the 1st of the month. Well, actually, since the 30th of last month. And I finally feel like I'm getting into it.
Okay.
So I spent the first 60 pages still feeling incredibly stupid. And I'm not saying that I don't feel stupid 150 pages in, but I do vaguely know what's happening.
To be fair, I know more people that have DNF'd it because it was difficult to read than people that have finished it. So even if you just finish it, you'll be doing really well. So I wouldn't beat yourself up about it. Apparently, it's like intentionally written to be obscure, and quite a few friends of mine that have either got like dyslexia, dyspraxia, or ADHD have really, really struggled with it to the point that they were like, just no, brain cannot.
It reminds me so much of a textbook. Like when I look at it,
it's like reading a textbook.
I keep wanting to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna read it. But then I'm like, God, it really does look like a textbook, which is like really throwing me off.
And a lot of it is written like a textbook because it's like a report on a film that doesn't actually exist. So it's like a textbook about this film, and it's like took me so long to get into it. And there's the chapter that I'm just finished is about labyrinths, and it's structured like a labyrinth. So like there's text going different ways, and then the footnotes are not really in order. Like I got really confused and lost about where I was supposed to go. So I've started reading the main story with the footnotes that actually relate to it, and then the guy that rambles for like 4 pages in each of his footnotes, I just go back at the end of the chapter and read those, because otherwise I'm like, what the frick were we talking about? I don't remember. Because you've been talking about your love life for like 4 pages. It's like, I've got no idea what's going on anymore.
Where are we?
What is happening? But I'm kind of vaguely enjoying it now that I'm getting into it, but yeah,
that's fair. So with regards to this, Pixie finished reading Paradise Lost and is now reading Dante's Inferno.
Wow. Dante's Inferno.
That's pretty fitting.
Okay. Oh, that's what I thought. Pixie was reading Bible fanfic, and I was like, have I missed out on a fanfic category?
the way you're clutching your pearls.
No.
I mean, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Who knows?
There's so many stories you could do that with, but I'm not even going to touch it.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Absolutely, the AO3 tags would go crazy.
Love Paradise Lost, but if you make it through Dante's Inferno, I'll be impressed because I do know that.
That's fair.
I'll take it.
That's fair. So Dante's Inferno. I actually studied Dante's Inferno for my undergrad, so it was like the final year for creative writing. Instead of doing like a dissertation, you would do a creative project where you would have to write a 5,000 word essay and a 5,000 word short story. And basically, I looked at Dante's Inferno as a kind of foundation for fictional versions of hell. In general, so the fact that when we talk about like flames and punishment, that's all from Dante's Inferno, and most biblical references, it either talks about the fires of hell or just hell as a place. Like it doesn't go into any more detail than that because it doesn't really need to. It's kind of embellished upon in like other ways. So did that, and then did my own version of hell, and kind of like wrote a story of a girl waking up in hell, going through the different layers and kind of guided through very Dante's Inferno style, only to find out that she had accidentally killed her brother because she'd been drink driving, and then she ends up back where she started, but now she remembers why she's there. The punishment can continue. And I remember my lecturer reading my first draft and was like, do we need to do a psych eval? Like, is that something we need to do? And I was like, no, I just really like horror stories. And he was like, good, let's continue. Like, it was just like, just need to clarify, are you okay? We're okay.
Speaking of horror stories, did you guys see that girl on TikTok that was talking about people who like horror they're like mentally ill?
No, I didn't. I thought you were going to talk about the one that made the news over here because she killed her family 4 years ago and then has just been keeping
I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was holding on to her parents.
Yeah.
She's like, guys, I got to tell you something. Just come on over this next room. She's like,
my dad's in there.
Yeah. Do you know what is the bit that blows my mind is when she's just like, smile, you caught the bad guy.
It was like,
bizarre.
Okay,
bizarre.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I hadn't seen that.
From holiday, I haven't plugged into TikTok all the news, so this is all just like hitting me.
I haven't watched the whole thing, so I was like, I didn't see that thing.
Yeah. My thing with the TikTok one though, it was very clearly like rage bait. Like as soon as she opened up the video, I was like, oh, this is to get people very, very angry. Because then her follow-up video, she was like, that's not what I said. People are mad at me because I said I didn't like something that they like. But she literally was like, people who like horror, there's something wrong with you. I was like, those are two very different things, two very different statements. But I was like, I'm not engaging with this because she wants people to respond madly because she wants the views. Because she says that in the next video. She's like, you guys can do what you want, but I'm getting views. And I'm like, well, there it is, guys. There's your answer.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something wrong with me, but that's not why I like horror.
Yeah.
Just because you're right doesn't mean you're also not wrong.
They're not mutually exclusive.
So true. Continue to be relatable, Jen. We appreciate it. It is cathartic, but it's the same as anything else. Like any genre you read, it's because you expect to get something out of it. And sometimes it's the thrill of putting a book down and going, well, I'm glad that's not happening to me.
Exactly.
You know? I don't live there.
In a very controlled setting that is my home.
Yeah. Like Jen and I were talking again about Clown in the Cornfield earlier, and there are two characters in it that are terrifying, more so even than the clown psycho killers, because they are so realistic to real men. And both of us were like, huh. Like immediately
they scare me.
Yeah, they were genuinely terrifying. As opposed to people doing other things. It's like, I'm glad I don't have to do that. That's not on my case, you know. So yeah, but yeah, no, that's cool. Are you picking up anything else after that so that you can read it alongside House of Leaves, Gem, or are you just gonna knuckle down and get something done?
Well, I kind of like every so often I do like a 2-hour House of Leaves session, and then I'm reading other things in between. So I think I'm gonna pick up Carmela next. And then I feel like I need some manga, so I've got Full Night. I'm gonna read that. Just give my brain a little bit of a break.
You need a palate cleanser. I think that's absolutely fair. And I think Carmela is really interesting because I read it and liked it, and then I did the audiobook and hated it. The audiobook makes it's so overtly like they've got an agenda to make it more sexual than it is, as opposed to like the undertones of it. I was just like, I'm good, thank you.
I literally just got the audiobook. But I don't know which one I got because there's like
mine was the free one that was
different versions. Oh, I think this was originally free. It's the one with Megan Follows does it, but it's like dark cover with just like a very pale face.
I will check to see if that's the one that I listened to. I don't think it is.
It's a good story though.
It is a really good story.
I'm really excited to read it.
No, the one I listened to had the white rose with blood on it. It was the Audible original. So you should be okay.
Oh, okay. Hopefully, yeah. Because I don't know when I'm going to have time to sit down and read it because I'm trying to do House of Leaves at the same time. But I'm like, I need to crack on because I still have so much to read this month. So I was like, oh, I'll do it. It's for the audiobook. It won't even take long. It's really short. And then I found like this guy reading it on YouTube, and I'd really tried. And it was cool because he did it like for free, and he did a pretty good job, but he didn't change the tone of his voice for any of the characters. So I was just getting confused, and I was like, do you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll just get the one on audio. It's fine. Like, I appreciate you, but I have no idea what's going on or who anyone is. So we'll start again.
That's fine. Okay. Interesting. Follow up with that. What is that about? Sounds interesting.
I mean, I've been trying to read the House of Leaves for like 4 years. I originally put it on pause, and I thought that was like a couple of years ago, but it wasn't. And I was reading it, and I was like, I swear to God, I've never read this before. But then I got to a certain point, I was like, oh wait, no, this I haven't read. I must have read the other stuff before. Like, I don't remember any of it. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Spend my entire time being perpetually confused, but I mean that is just general life anyway. So
yeah, I decided pretty early doors I was not gonna pick it up for like. So I remember Books of Lala did it for their Dead. What is it called? The
Leering Dead Book Club.
There we go. And Molly really, really struggled with it. And then they were talking about how it really affected their dyslexia. And then 2 other people were reading it and said the same thing. And I was like, do you know what I don't need in my life right now? is hard work.
Yeah.
I'm going to read really easy books. And to be fair, this was also the time where I was like, do you know what I'm also done reading? Sad books. That lasted all about 5 minutes. And then I fully led into... I was watching some of my old content recently because I was like, are any of these things that I can do nice and easy reactions to or recreate nice and easy now that I'm doing my new job and can't film as often as I'd like? And I was watching it and I was like, you talk absolute rubbish. Because it was why I ended up doing here's some sci-fi books that I like. Because one of like the first videos I made is, I hate sci-fi. And I was like, that's not true though, is it? Not true. Who are you kidding? So.
A long time ago, I filmed a video which was called "Things Booktubers Do That I Do Not Do," and I think I do all those things now. I was just like, I was planning to do a reaction video, then I was like, I'm just dissing on myself. So.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Can you remember what any of those things were? Things that.
Well, the number one was like, I will never ever DNF a book. Which
could never be me. Could never be me.
And then the other one was like, I would never ever have a cup of tea on screen and then like cut it in a way where I never drink it on screen. And I was like, these are really specific things for me to say about the video. And I'm pretty sure I do them all now. So
I love the idea that you're watching a YouTube video where someone picks up a tea and then suddenly it's not in their hand anymore and you're like, just drink it. Just drink it. The thing is, I will sip something like when I'm doing a video sometimes, and then I'm like, I'll edit, and I'm like, Hannah, you're drinking for so long, just put it down. And then I put it out. And it's like, I'm not thinking about it other than I'm bored watching you doing this. No one needs to see you guzzle a chai. Like, it's just absolutely...
Oh my gosh.
I really want a chai now.
Oh, I love a chai. I love a chai. I'm going to make myself... I had one just before we started. I'm going to have another one. Chai and hot chocolates have become like my entire personality because I don't get to have tea as often as I used to when I was self-employed because I have to walk 10 minutes to the place to make tea because there's no kettle in our office and my office is right down the other end of where everything else is. So if it's raining, which it has been a lot, I like tea. But I don't like it enough for a 20-minute wet walk, you know? So chai it is, because that I could just mix up nice and quick.
I would not function. I'd have to take some kind of flask because most days I'm more tea than woman. Like there's no way I'm getting through the workday without tea after tea. We had a new manager start recently, and every time I'm like, "Do you want a tea?" He's like, "I've still got one." I'm like, "Yeah, but you have to keep up in this office, okay?"
When I say that I'm not having it as regularly, what I need you to understand is when I was self-employed, I would from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. be having a tea nearly on the hour every hour because I would break up doing stuff with making a tea. And I would make it in a pot and I would have 2 or 3 cups. And the only thing that would ever kind of extend that time is if I was habit stacking and I did the washing as well, because then that would take an hour and a half or 2 hours. And then I would come back as I need. So boil the kettle, empty the washing machine, make tea, load the washing machine, come back when the tea is brewed, then have it. And then when that washing is done, coming back to it. Like that. So as opposed to now where I have maybe 4 or 5 a day, as opposed to 1 on the hour every hour.
I just can't function without tea during the day. I have to always have one on the go on my desk. If somebody does a tea run and I still have one, I'll down it, even if it's still like hot, even if it's just been made, because I don't want to miss out.
That's fair.
On the tea run ever.
So what I will do instead, so I have access to hot water. I will get hot water because we've got like we do have like a kettle, but we don't have like everything else, and I just can't bring myself to make. It's really hard water here, so it's not very nice anyway. I can't bring myself to make tea without making it in a pot. I don't like tea in a cup, and it's polystyrene cups as well. So I'm just like,
oh, I hate tea in one of those cups.
So whereas chai, it's essentially just sugar and cinnamon. So it doesn't really matter, and I can make it as thick as I like. It won't matter.
I like a good chai latte because I'm a coffee fiend, so I run on that all day.
That's fair. Okay, deals with language. Oh, okay. Fair enough. What about you, Olivia? What are you picking up next?
I'm currently reading 2 books. I've read half of my Gothtober TBR. But like
Nice.
I did deviate from the TBR a bit. But I'm reading 2 Black authors because it is Black History Month in the UK as well. One of which is River Solomon Model Home, which is like haunted house, non-binary Black main character and siblings vibe with murder, which is good. And then Trumpet by Jackie Kay, which is like, it's actually literary book, but it's about this jazz player who is trans, but nobody knows it until he dies. And then only the wife knew about it, and now there's like a big scandal. And I did not love the Jackie Kay I read, but this is really good. So I'm glad I gave her a second chance.
That's cool. I love it when a second chance author actually like comes through.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
I always give authors second chances because I gave Maggie Stiefvater a second chance. So
That's fair. That's fair.
That's my only like 2 chances and that's it.
I don't think there's many authors. I don't actually, in hindsight, there's any author that I'm like, I haven't given a second chance that there wasn't like another reason. It wasn't like I just didn't enjoy the book. Because like there's authors that I've read multiple books of that I don't read anymore because they're awful. Like people as opposed to their writing, and others where I'm like, well, I'll try something else. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I remember there was one book that I DNF'd after like half a page. It was called Domestic Violets, and I can't even remember what the author was called. But anytime it says on something like from the author of the Domestic Violets, I'm like, that is a nope from me, because the first page of that book is just the main character talking about his erectile dysfunction.
Fun.
And I was like,
you remember you talking about this book before.
Yeah, I was like, no. Absolutely not. Like even Neil Gaiman, I gave multiple chances to, and was like, I just don't vibe with his writing, which I'm sure is very controversial to say, but I just don't vibe with it. And V. Schwab is another one where I've given multiple chances to, but they're just not the author for me.
I've given her multiple.
I agree on Neil Gaiman.
I agree on Neil Gaiman.
No, I just called him Nail, didn't I?
No,
Well,
Neil
okay.
Gaiman.
That's his name now, sorry.
As he shall henceforth be known.
I'll never acknowledge him as Neil again.
I don't give Colin Hoover any more chances.
Oh, I never even picked up Colin Hoover up. I couldn't do it.
I picked up 2 because it was like right when I'd started getting back into reading after not reading for a while, and her books were kind of like everywhere. And I was like, me not knowing anything about them. And then the 2 that I read were terrible. And
what did you read?
So I read November 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then It Ends With Us.
Yeah. I read It Ends With Us, and to be fair, that was one chance, and I was like, never again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My friend recommended to me Verity, and this is before I knew anything about them. And I was like, oh, I don't really think, I just got the vibe in the same way that I did with Taylor Jenkins Reid, which to be fair, I was not going to pick up Taylor Jenkins Reid, and then I adored Seven Husbands. I was like, I just don't feel like this is, I just get a vibe, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. And then I was talking about it to someone else, and I was like, yeah, so-and-so recommended me Verity, but I don't know. And they were like, absolutely not, you will hate it. And then like went on like a 20-minute rant, and then they sent me their copy that had all their annotations in, so I could read along with their annotations. And so many of their annotations were just ew, nope, why, that I was like, I don't need to read it. Like I was like, it was literally just like I was just watching them react in real time. Like, so this is not going to be the book for me. But do you know what terrifies me? Working in a school and seeing how popular it is with the students.
No, that's like all they have. Like given Walmart here in my town, because it's so small, it doesn't get a lot. But the rise of dark romance and her have just, the shelves are covered in nothing but those 2 books. And I'm like, guys, we gotta clear this out. There's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
and what
feel
worries me
like
is covers that look similar as well. There's a new one called Binding 13 that's starting to do the rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know if the book itself is new, but I'm seeing that and I'm like, I don't trust it. Sorry,
When
Olivia.
I was saying, when I feel like I'm talking bad about Colleen Hoover, I feel like the people that were talking bad about Twilight by Stephanie Meyer back when that was popular, people thought it was harmful. But then, like, I remembered that this one was actually worse, and then I'm like, actually, it's fine. I can hate on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is I think there's a real balance between being like, am I hating on this because it's very easy and very internalized misogyny to hate on something that women in general enjoy,
Right.
or am I hating on it because there are legitimate dangers to reading these books? I'm never really one to actively be like, oh, and Colin Hoover, by the way,
Yeah.
and, like, start immediately slamming. But that's only because her fans terrify me. I don't think there's anything more that I could add to the conversation that's not already being discussed by a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of commonly discussed.
Yeah.
And I think that makes me feel a bit safer in slamming it, having not read it, you know?
I also feel like the general discussion is the book itself, whereas my real issue is in the author's note, which is then the author's views. And I was just like, this I really can't stand for. And I don't think people read author's notes, and it does relate to, because about the author's personal thoughts on abuse,
right?
And the book is about abuse, but so it relates to the book. But I do think people should read the author's note, because those views I strongly disagree with.
Yeah, and also it's like in every one of her books, it's like there's something that's always just off, and I feel like with as many as she's written, like, at some point you got to be like, all right, we got to stop with this little thing throwing in here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I highlighted this one because actually Matt Haig is an author that I gave a second chance to. So I read How to Stop Time and thought, this is the most boring book I've ever read in my life. Like, everyone talks about Matt Haig being a great author for mental health rep and does a lot to advocate for mental health as well. But I was like, this is dull. And the ending was bad. Hated it. And then I was like, I feel like I should give him another chance, especially because The Midnight Library was so popular that I was like, okay, I'll do the audiobook. Maybe that will make it easier. And it was fine. I gave it 3 stars, and I was like, I don't think I need to read any more by Matt Haig, which is why I said that in like the last thing, like, these are the authors that I will actively choose to read. I will not read any Matt Haigs just because I have no interest in being bored again.
I don't have any interest in his fiction. Like, I had a lot of his fiction before that I'd got from like charity shops, and then I just ended up giving them all away because I never picked them up. But I find his nonfiction personally really helpful. Like, I've read all 3 of his nonfiction books about mental health, and there's just something about the way that he writes them makes it feel very relatable and understandable, and not like, oh, you should do this. This is definitely going to work for you, but just like, this has worked for me. Maybe it will be helpful. And just reading them, I just found I took a lot from those personally, but I don't know if they'd work for everyone.
Yeah, I think when I first read Matt Haig, I read all of his nonfiction first, and that's what was published first. And I think when he had the rep of being very good mental health representation, it was about his nonfiction books, not about his fiction books.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Now people read his fiction books, and his fiction books are much more like on the nose. And I still think some of the early stuff is good. I liked How to Stop Time. I struggle with his later stuff, and I've fallen off the Matt Haig thing. But I do think his nonfiction is where it's the best.
I am interested in watching the Radleys TV series though. That's got what's his face?
Benedict?
No, it's the redhead guy who has played Henry VIII before, but is also in an American series about making loads of money. Oh, he was married to what's his face? That was really helpful of me.
Really helpful.
So sorry.
That really narrowed it down.
He was married to the actress that passed away that was in Harry Potter, played Narcissa, Helen McCrory.
I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. He was in Band of Brothers, right?
Damian Lewis is
Damian
the actor.
Lewis.
Yeah, and his wife was Helen McCrory. Yeah. I got there eventually. God, that's embarrassing. Although, interestingly, his daughter's name is Manon, for any Throne of Glass fans out there.
Also, Abby's talking about V. Schwab, Hannah.
Where? Go on, where you at?
I just don't know, I'm still scrolling. Let me find it. You're going to scroll up a bit. I really struggle with Schwab, but she seems so lovely, but I can't connect with her characters.
Is it above the...
It's above the Neil Gaiman bingeable books.
Oh, I struggle with Schwab. Yeah. So I was literally talking to my boss about this yesterday. Olivia and I have a running track record of hating the books that we buddy read. We will like choose a book and we'll be like, let's buddy read this. And then we will both separately and together hate it. So I think we started with Addie LaRue. It was like the first book that we buddy read together. Because I think so many editions came out, I was like, I'm going to need support in this. And I found it so boring and the characters so unrelatable. And I hated every choice they made. And I was so worried that I was going to go to Olivia and be like this real negative Nancy and be like, I hated it. And then Olivia and I were like firmly on the same page of like, this is not the vibe. And then we made it worse because we decided to buddy read American Gods afterwards.
And we're scared to choose another buddy read book now.
Yeah, we like literally haven't. We haven't buddy read anything in ages.
That's because I'm a terrible buddy reader. Abby can speak to that. But I can try. Oh, we also buddy read Love is a Revolution, but that was like
that wasn't too bad. I think we had like I think it came out as like a 3 stars for both of us. It wasn't that it was bad. We both had like things that we nitpicked with it. But overall I liked it because I think that's Renee Watson, isn't it? And I really liked the other book that I read by Renee Watson, which is Piecing Me Together, which is about a young girl of color basically in a buddy system where a richer woman of color takes her on as like a buddy and she's trying to piece her life together in this posh school through poetry, through collage, and through everything else that she's experiencing all in one go. And I just thought that was really relatable to the teenage experience of not knowing who you are and just trying to find yourself in like all of these different things, trying to find things that are comparative, realizing that adults are flawed human beings just as much as teenagers are. Like I just really liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I've read something else from her. I think it's like More Places Than Home or something like that, and I really liked it as well. Middle grade though.
Yeah, the one that I want to read next by her, I think is called like Everything She Taught Me, which is like a mother-daughter narrative, because it just sounds really interesting, but I just don't own it yet, so therefore do not pick it up. I also wanted to come back to this one, like the idea that Colleen Hoover is basically the new VC Andrews, because I think that's so true. My mum recommended me Flowers in the Attic, which is, if we're not familiar, a gothic novel about kids that are left in the attic and basically just neglected. And it's wild, but it is very much a thriller romance.
Yeah.
With the key theme being incest.
Yes.
Imagine recommending that to a 13-year-old, because that's what my mum did.
Wild behaviour.
Right? And to this day, I'm like, why did you recommend that to me? And she's like, well, because I read it when I was 12. I thought it'd be fine. 10 out of 10 parenting, mum. Could not recommend more. Sometimes I rate books thinking about the messages involved and whatnot. Sometimes I rate it based on, I haven't read in months, and this kept me reading all day. Thank you. That is why Cruel Prince got 5 stars from me, because I read it in one day and I was like hooked.
Valid.
That's why I like The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. Like, unlikable characters, which is totally not my kind of thing, and then I just ate it up.
Honestly, that's what got me through Sarah J. Maas's books before she was involved in everything she's involved in now. Because, like, I will attest reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, the second one, I, like, binged that in a day. And so, yeah.
That's a thick book as well.
I was surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, I just can't put it down. It was giving me very the same feeling of when I read Twilight way back when. And so I think that's why I was like, oh, I'm eating this up.
That's how I felt about The Prince and To All the Boys I Loved Before. They were like the 2 books that, especially, sorry, I can hear Zach the other side of the door with his keys, but he's also really out of breath, so it scared the shit out of me. All I heard was you breathing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There we go. I could hear you breathing through the door.
I walked very quickly.
It terrified me. All I could hear was like, that was genuinely scary. Hello and welcome.
Hey.
You come say hi. Come on, come say hi. Come say hi. Come on. All the way in. All the way in. There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Everyone, this is Zach. Anyway,
I
can't. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, you're going out again?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were doing that earlier.
No,
Oh.
I saw my work stuff.
Yeah, I know, but you also went for dinner already, so I just
Yes.
assumed. Fair enough.
Is there a go out again?
No,
Oh, God damn.
I'm one of those
Oh,
girlfriends.
no. I guess I'm stuck here.
What was I talking about before he scared the life out of me? I can't even remember.
I'm
The cool
genuinely
prince.
No,
sorry.
it's fine. It was so close to the door, and it was just,
I didn't realize I was reading that loudly.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
incredible.
Are you live?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
All right.
No, it's fine. You've already said the F word. It's fine.
What?
Yeah, when you fell over.
I have remarkably poor memory.
Have you had a few drinks already?
I've only had a couple of beers.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, but apparently that's enough to, ruin me.
Clearly.
You're fucking interrupting the live stream now.
Thank you. Adorable. Right. Where do we get to? Yeah. I think that's more recent though, isn't it? Because it was yeah, like you said, his nonfiction was older. Then we got to that one, which is fair. Can't remember details, but he's been quite classist.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
That.
Can you stop breathing so loudly? Go get changed. Okay, so there's another time that Zach has been on my live and I've actually like properly told him off, and I've taken it down from the internet because I was so rude to him. But basically I was doing a live stream for Patreon and he crept in. So I was in the other room, which like the door is right behind me. He just poked his head round. So I'm like looking at the screen and suddenly this head just like appears behind me, scared the life out of me. And I just turned around and started shouting, like properly like hurling abuse because I was so frightened that I'm like, I feel like I now have to be on my best behavior because I know he's going to try and wind me up and I want to look professional on the internet.
I would never wind you up. I love you and I think what you do is fantastic. And I would never try to sabotage that in any way, shape, or form.
You're such a liar. Yeah, that's fair. It really was. I think this is what you mean about like it being really on the nose, right, Olivia? Was it this one that you were talking about?
I haven't read the Midnight Library actually.
I will say the Midnight Library, I really liked it because one of the main things that I tend to struggle with when it comes to mental health is like thinking that things could have been better had I just made a different decision, right?
Mm.
So like one of the main themes in that book is kind of showcasing that it doesn't really matter what you do because the outcome isn't guaranteed to be like good or bad.
Yeah.
So when I read it, it kind of put things into just a little bit more perspective for me. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Things could have been a lot worse. That's true.
You good?
I'm so sorry.
This is what I mean. He does it on purpose.
I promise I didn't mean to be as intrusive as I was.
You could have just asked me to move. That would have been easier.
And I felt like that would have been too intrusive.
Yeah, you're right. That was less intrusive.
Was it head down or hair up kind of nice?
It's up to you.
Okay.
You good?
What do you think looks good?
You look lovely as you are.
Okay. Up or down?
Down.
Okay. Thank you.
That's okay. Yeah, obvious.
You can skip over this side conversation.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
I love you.
Love you too. If you want.
Okay.
See you later.
Love you. Bye, everyone. See you later.
Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too. What you didn't see was he was stood right here going, "Can I kiss you?" I'm like, yeah, just hurry up. Okay, cool. Yeah, so cool. I feel like I've been in two places at once now. My brain is not braining. Also, I've just realised his friend Rob has been stood outside this entire time. Because I just heard them chatting. Like Rob could have come in, but it kept him out of trouble. Yeah, wouldn't read another V. Schwab. I think the thing is, so I read Addie LaRue. I also really tried with her haunted house one. I can't remember That was it. I didn't vibe with that one. And I also read the three Cassidy Blake, the middle grade ones. And I really wanted them to be spookier. But I was, at the time, I was far more forgiving because I do love a ghostly middle grade. They are my favourites.
Yeah. She's one of my favourite authors. But it's like different things, different strokes for different folks, isn't it? So like I really like her writing style, but I know that it's not for everyone.
I think that's fair.
I mean, I was very pleased when I reread the Shade of Magic series and still liked it because, you know, it's not like I have the main character tattooed on my arm or anything. That could be really embarrassing.
And then every now and then, like, I will pick up like a book that I read as a kid that I absolutely adored, and in my head I'm just like, please hold up, so like I read Ella Enchanted, loved it. It has like some iffy stuff in it, but I was like, in general it holds up. The Worst Witch series absolutely holds up. Pig Heart Boy broke my heart. Like they were all like my favorites as a kid, so I was like really pleased they were still great.
The Shades of Magic series has a new follow-on series that I've been waiting for a long time for, but it was published this year when I entered the Great Fantasy Slump of 2024, so I've been terrified for it ever since. And I put it in my friend's like 12 books jar thing, and then I was like, oh, I feel really mean because you really want to read it, so I won't read it until you pick it out. And she picked it out in October, and I just went, no. I was like, no. Like such a fearful, visceral reaction that she just went, I'll repick. I was like, thank you.
Like, yes, you will. not to tell you how to run your channel, but yes, you will.
Yeah. Put it back. We're doing it in December, so I feel like I have 2 months to prepare myself.
You've got time.
Because obviously 12 months wasn't long enough. So
no, obviously not. That's also. I didn't realize there was incest in Dune. I mean, it makes sense, but terrifying.
I haven't got there yet, but good to know what I have to look forward to.
Trigger warnings. Oh, actually, that's a really good point. Is for the Patreon pick, basically they're books that the theme is picked by my Patreons, and then I send the book out to everybody. I feel like I need to send it with a little note being like, and by the way, these are the trigger warnings, because I've actually managed to read it before I send it out, which is rare. And there's things in it that I'm like, I wish I'd known that was in this. Because I was telling Olivia about it. I gave it 3 stars because there was so much of it I really enjoyed, but the ending tailspun into a disarray for me, and it has one trigger in it, which I won't spoil for anyone, but if they want to know, I will message them afterwards. That is an automatic no from me. Like, I hate any mention of that, and I need to know that it's there first, because otherwise I will rage. And I was sat there and I was getting more and more agitated about it, and it literally took me being like, oh, Olivia, this was in this book, for Olivia to be like, oh yeah. And I was like, that's why I'm triggered. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Go read, enjoy. I think I'm gonna go and do the same. I think I'm gonna go and read. Yeah. Thanks for a horrible quiz. You're so welcome. Don't quote me on the classes thing, because I can't actually find it. I do feel like it was like there was a thing on Twitter about that. Like there was a lot of like, because he did a BBC thing about mental health, and then he was like backing up some of the stuff he said on the BBC News that I think just didn't go down very well, from what I remember.
This is why I just don't try and engage with some of the authors in real world situations.
Yeah.
They keep letting me down.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's how I feel about all my favorite celebrities these days. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what? I just don't
like every day is just a dangerous day.
No.
Please no more.
Gotta watch those parasocial relationships. Gotta keep an eye.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Well, I really, really enjoyed this evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, not only for the quiz, but for the long-ass chat afterwards. I've loved it. I've loved every second of it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope everyone watching has also had a really good time. And I'm now going to hit end stream so we can all wave awkwardly for however long it takes my internet to cut us off. So thanks again, and I'll see you all very soon.
Bye.